is Kevin McEwen. For Bryant, starting on attack, Brian Russell, Jack Lonsinger, Dawson Riley. At midfield, Zach Amend, John Tomchak, and Luca Elmale. On defense, Drew Lucas, Luke Mead, and Jack McCloskey. In cages, Scott Einerson. The head coach for Bryant in his third season is Brad Ross, as the opening face-off is taken by Flynn Wilson for Binghamton. Binghamton has had a couple of men taking the face-off this year, CJ Mangio and Flynn Wilson, as Binghamton in this first quarter advancing from right to left of the America East postseason. The Bulldogs getting set to try to win their first face-off. Want to start and win the second one after a whistle. It's awarded to Bryant's J.J. Murphy America East Championship, no longer part of the America East Conference this year. But that's one difference from last year's tournament until this.
Well, Merrimack, a member, an associate member of the America East in men's lacrosse. They were primarily in the NEC. They're now in the MAC, the Metro Atlantic.
NEC at the time did not have enough schools to be able to sponsor.
Attacking, he's making sure his cross is as close to the ball as possible. And if not, he's positioning the shaft to get a piece of it as well. And obviously your close D, Tanner Alexander, he's been a force back there along with Drew Lucas, and the rest just kind of takes care of itself. You build out.
J.J. Murphy winning the draw for Bryant, losing possession, however, to Binghamton, turned over to
be easy. We're not going to pull away from this team this early like this.
And not when you go against an opponent that has a player like Liam Ferris leading the attack, a grad student from Glenmont, New York, a Syracuse University transfer, and Ferris was an America East second-teamer last year, on the first team this year. The team's leader this regular season in goals, points, shots on goal.
I mean, Eric, other than broadcasting, what does Syracuse do better than lacrosse? And he's certainly good enough to get a look there.
He played for 2 years on the midfield at Syracuse before transferring over to Binghamton, and has had excellent career with the Bearcats. Ferris finished second on the regular season, so the tiebreaker for that #1 spot and the chance to host the whole tournament went to Bryant.
Kind of hard to believe Bryant hasn't hosted the men's lacrosse tournament since 2013, still in its NEC days, and just all the success Bryant lacrosse had in the NEC over their last decade in that conference. Weren't the 1 seed often enough to host, but sometimes it's not about who the #1 seed is, it's about who's playing the best lacrosse down the stretch. Bulldogs trying to show it can be both.
In a small conference, such as one of 2 men to take the face-off this year for the Bulldogs, and he's been dominating so far this afternoon. Taking a look at some of the other stats through the first quarter, Bryant had led in shots 14-10, getting a few more opportunities in that department.
Looks like CJ Mangio was out to take that draw. Wound up being a violation advantage. Bulldogs again, they've taken all but 1 now.
For Binghamton, back to 2.
Come on, right there.
As the Bulldogs pick up the ground ball. Bryant advancing. Drew Lucas today, and not in Baltimore. The Bulldogs defeated UMass Lowell on the road last Saturday to clinch the #1 seed and hosting opportunities in this tournament. And Russell had 4 goals and 2 assists in that game. His 6 points paced the Bulldogs. And he has been a crucial member of the Bryant squad this year. As a shot and a score for the Bearcats. Ben Garone, an unsettled situation the other way for the visitor. And Garone's first goal of the game, his 16th of the year, and Binghamton cuts its deficit back down to 2.
Well, lest we forget Flynn Wilson, a member of the America East All-Rookie team at the Faceoff X. Very clean win that time. He still knows what he's doing. He can beat Murphy when asked, and great job finding the finisher there in Garone. It's tempting when you win the faceoff that clean to just sprint down and take the goal yourself. It's not necessarily in the job description. If you can do it, great. If not, get it to the capable hands. Garone, he certainly meets the requirements.
And we want to correct from earlier, there was a shot for the second goal of Binghamton today from Liam Ferris, and that had been deflected by Nolan Sharkey in front of the cage. So for Binghamton, its 3 goal scorers are Liam Ferris, Nolan Sharkey, and Ben Garone. Under 5.5 minutes to play in the first half, Bryant leading.
Sometimes that goes against you. Everybody beats up on one another, and you hurt your own cause in a sense.
That absolutely can be the case. And I think for this year, it's also non-conference play win totals as a crank of a shot from Zach Championship Semifinals. The first matchup of the day featuring number 1 seed Bryant and number 4 seed Binghamton. Entering the second half, Bryant leading Binghamton by a score of 7-4, and this is
by Lucas. Get it to the sure goal scorer and get your large lead here if you're Bryant, just shy of the half.
That's leadership play right there from Drew Lucas, one of the 3 co-captains on this Bulldog squad, along with Brian Russell and Tanner Alexander. And being a player who is a defensive stalwart for the Bulldogs, but to be able to on ESPN Plus with Jake Levin, I'm Eric Silverman, as Bryant is hosting not just the Men's Lacrosse America East Championship, but also the Women's Lacrosse America East Championship. Bryant men's and women's lacrosse needing victories over UMass Lowell on the final day of the regular season to secure number 1 seeds, and both teams did just that.
We had a pretty good idea that Bryant men were going to be able to handle UMass Lowell, but the UMass Lowell women, they were a juggernaut, and the Bryant women, they really had to pull an upset going on the road up there to the Mill City, and a job well done. 3-goal lead back intact.
For the Bulldogs, that is 3 straight goals for Dawson Riley. There have been 2 Binghamton goals mixed in, but for Bryant, 3 straight goals for Dawson Riley, not immensely surprising. The team's leading goal scorer on the year. He's up to 40 goals on the season. Riley also the team leader in shots on.
So this is a few times now we've seen Binghamton with a quick counter strike to a Bryant goal. That's what you want, right? You want to see your team respond to adversity well, and the Bearcats have done it.
And Bryant, it had been Bryant by 2, 3, or 4 since then. But just a 1-goal contest between these America East foes.
Kind of a nervous energy here in Burns Stadium right now. Plenty of Binghamton fans, but almost, certainly a majority Bryant fans. And
he is the 3 and will take on UMBC in a 7 p.m. matchup.
Not surprisingly, Brad Ross, Bryant head coach, he was asked, on the potential of a rematch with UMBC or UAlbany. He said, we'll worry about Binghamton first.
That was the America East Men's Lacrosse Championship bracket presented by Jersey Mike's. And this game tied up at 8. It's delay off the feed from Ferris. Bryant's J.J. Murphy with a big face-off win. Under 8 minutes to 4 straight goals for the Bearcats. Crucial face-off at the Bulldog logo. And off the draw, the ground ball is jousted for, scooped up by Nolan Sharkey. Although he has to lob it back behind his own restraining line.
And Lunsinger's game has changed a little bit. He can obviously still score big goals. He had 42 his freshman year. That was the most in program history by a first-year player. He's still shy of 20 this year, but he can score big goals. That's all that matters.
He was second in the nation in goals per game amongst freshmen that year. But as you mentioned, he's evolved his game. Not just a goal scorer, can do a lot, but being a goal scorer was exactly what Bryant needed him to be in the last 30 seconds. The first team to score in this 4-minute first overtime session advances to the America East title game. And off the faceoff, the ball flung outside of the faceoff circle. A couple of players collide to collect, and it's scooped up by the Bulldogs' Gabe Chinitz. As a timeout called on the field.
Well, nice ground ball there for the Bulldogs. Possession, obviously, name of the game here. You set yourself up now to go down and win it. You don't know if you're going to get another chance.
Bryant head coach Brad Ross calling the timeout.